tell you what I thought about the people and also give you kind of a perspective of who I think is who. So for a while, I've been saying on here that conservatives are going to win Canada, and I think it's true. But a lot of people have been reaching out to me on here and Instagram and saying, Anomaly, Andrew Scheer's not a real conservative. The Conservative Party's not really conservative. Everybody's been telling me about Maxime Bernier of the People's Party of Canada. They said he's the real conservative. I didn't know what they were talking about because I heard a clip of Andrew Scheer months ago calling out Justin Trudeau and basically saying that, Trudeau is bringing back ISIS fighters. Literally was like, oh, we're going to teach them podcasts. And Andrew Scheer called him out and he's like, you're going to teach ISIS fighters podcasts? I was like, man, Andrew Scheer is very real. But I see what people are talking about. So I'll tell you my breakdown of it to compare to American politics, and then we'll go in. This is rough, obviously, but I think Andrew Scheer's along the lines of like a Mitt Romney, a John McCain. He's like conservative, but he's kind of like a, I don't want to say sellout, but you get what I'm saying. He's not really a conservative. Andrew Scheer is by no means Trump. I would say he's more like an establishment rhino Republican. Justin Trudeau, I call him the barista in blackface. He's not really comparable. He reminds me of your local barista, except wearing blackface and trying to fit in with the gentrification. No, all jokes aside, I don't know. Trudeau's like a Beto or something. He's just a beta. Jagmeet Singh of the New Democratic Party. He's like a Bernie Sanders. I know some of my friends who are more conservative in Canada, for some reason, were feeling him. I mean, feel who you want to feel, but he sounds exactly like Bernie Sanders here. He's just younger, darker, and wears a turban. But he's like, we're going to raise the wealth on the 1%. He's going to go even further left than Justin Trudeau is. I know a lot of people who are in the Liberal Party are now moving to the New Democratic Party because Justin Trudeau and his friends have disgraced and destroyed the Liberal Party in Canada, much like here. Nobody's going to vote Liberal anymore. They're losing in every province. Justin Trudeau single-handedly, with the help of his friends, destroyed them. So people are going to Jagmeet Singh. He's just further left. He's like a Bernie Sanders. And last but not least, and someone said I'm off base. You could tell me why you think so. Maxime Bernier, or Bernier, however you say it, I would say he's the closest to Trump. I would say he's definitely the most conservative person on the stage. But Canada's kind of like Europe. They're a little too soyed down. I'm joking, but Canada and Europe's very, very soft. So everybody's like afraid of Maxime Bernier in Canada. They say he's extreme. Really, he seems like a nice guy, just speaking common sense. He seems the closest to Trump. That's kind of my thoughts on the candidates. Although I would say they're different. It's a different dynamic. That's my closest analysis so far. I would say Andrew Scheer probably has a chance of winning, and he's more conservative than Justin Trudeau, but Maxime Bernier came right off the gate. So I'm watching the debate, and Bernier comes off. He says, everybody on the stage is globalists, and they're sold out to the disgraceful and pathetic UN or something. And I was like, this guy goes kind of hard. It is kind of true. I think Canada is kind of like, very aligned with the UN, and what Bernier wants to do is similar to what Trump wants to do. He wants to put Canada first and, not just work for other countries and just be part of this global elite that doesn't really do anything. So I think Maxime Bernier is the best candidate. However, I do want to say if I was in Canada, I'd be torn. Although I know he's a lot realer and more honest than Andrew Scheer is. Andrew Scheer has a chance of winning, and I think he's probably going to win. So I may strategically vote for Andrew Scheer. Don't take me, I'm just kind of spitballing now, but if I was in Canada, I would consider voting for Andrew Scheer, not because I think he's better, but I think he has a chance of winning. And to me, you could say that I know a lot of people have been telling me that him and Justin Trudeau, someone said they kicked me out too. Yeah, they kicked out half the people. It's okay. A lot of people say that, Justin Trudeau and Andrew Scheer are exactly the same and there's going to be no difference. I don't think that's true. I think they are probably part of the same little sneaky UN coalition, but I think that Andrew Scheer is definitely at least a little bit more right-wing than Justin Trudeau. I think another 4 years of Trudeau or however many years would be a nightmare. I think, Jagmeet Singh would be a nightmare. Someone said Maxime Bernier only cares about Quebec. I know a lot of people have been telling me that as well. Like I said, I've only watched the debate and paid attention a little bit, so don't take everything I'm saying for 100% value. I'm just letting you know how I felt off the debates. Maybe he only cares about Quebec. I think he's probably, from there. And if he was prime minister, I think that he probably would care about all of Canada. But I think, because someone else told me that as well, they're like, he wants to separate. It's probably like my guess is like California. Most of California wants to separate away from San Francisco and Los Angeles. It's not because they're selfish. It's just because San Francisco and Los Angeles are taxing everybody and kicking all the businesses away. So it makes sense why they'd want to get away. I'm guessing that's probably what, Maxime wants to do with Quebec. He probably is disgusted by the socialism of Canada and how they're stealing all the taxes, making all the businesses leave. So he probably doesn't want to be a part of that. And if he was the premier, he'd probably do something about it. So that's my thoughts. I think he's definitely the true conservative. One thing that stuck out to me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about Andrew Scheer is, Maxime Bernier was talking about immigration, and he was talking about how much they're doing and how he wanted to focus on Canadian people. And Andrew Scheer basically tried to make him look racist and bad. He took kind of the left stance. So if you're against any sort of immigration, in any sort of way, you're horrible. And then I was like, that's the conservative guy. He's the conservative. But that's just how Europe and Canada are. You guys are so far left that anybody that's like actually conservative is scary. So you might need a Andrew Scheer to like make your way. To me, Maxime Bernier reminds me also, not completely, I'm just kind of giving you examples. He's like a Marine Le Pen or that guy in Sweden where he could probably win in 4 or 5 years, but I just don't think he's going to win this election. I don't think Canada's ready for it, just like I don't think Europe is, but eventually they will be. I want to say this too about immigration, because a lot of left-wing people, and I guess Andrew Scheer, they always say, immigration's amazing. Like they want like as much as possible. They want illegal immigration. They want legal immigration. They want it from anywhere. They want refugees. They want ISIS fighters. Even Justin Trudeau literally like wants to bring them back. So a lot of them also are against gentrification of a lot of neighborhoods. And ironically, a lot of them are the gentrifiers. They're the ones gentrifying neighborhoods. Here's my thing. When somebody gentrifies your neighborhood, say you're super left wing, you hate Trump, you hate all conservatives, and you hate gentrification. You don't like gentrification because when people, mostly white people, but other races, come to neighborhoods, it does two things to the neighborhood overall. It raises the prices up high. Everyone knows that. So the people who are against gentrification, it raises the price of everything. People who are pro-gentrification, they realize that it also raises the value of everything. So if you own property there, the value might go up. So you might hate gentrification because it's taking over your neighborhood and making it more expensive. You might love it because it's making your property more valuable. And you might love it because it usually makes it more safe. So when neighborhoods, that are not really up and up get gentrified, businesses go up, prices go up, value goes up, and safety goes up. So a lot of people dislike it, a lot of people like it. Same with immigration. I mean, illegal immigration, legal immigration, refugee immigration. It's annoying, like the Andrew Scheers and the liberals of the world and all these people who they're like, how dare you question any part of immigration, whether it be illegal immigration, ISIS immigration, legal immigration. But the truth is, if you want to be really honest, there is a conversation to be had, because whether you're bringing people in from Mexico, whether you're bringing people in from Africa, whether you're bringing people in from Canada, from America, from Europe, there's a pro and a con to everything, and you got to really be honest about it as far as like, what's it going to do to the economy? What's it going to do? Really think long term, but they don't really think. So it's like, my guess is, just not to be politically correct, but to be honest, the type of immigration that Europe and Canada is doing is so reckless and so close-minded, and so we love everyone, so we're just going to turn a blinders to the whole world. It's making crime go up. It's probably not helping the economy very much. And the more left-wing people that they vote into office, they just constantly take things away from, working citizens and give it to anybody else who wants to come. So, it's like Bernier wants to have a conversation about immigration, and they all just make them look racist, and including the conservative, which was a red flag. Someone said Andrew just wants legal immigration. No, I'm sure. Like here's my take. Bernier wants to have a real discussion about it. Andrew Scheer just wants legal immigration. But Bernier is trying to say, he made a point to say they're taking in so many immigrants per capita. They're taking in like 3 times as many immigrants as America and other countries, where it's like even that much legal immigration. I'm for immigration, but it's like if we're taking in 50 million people a year, 10, 20, 30, 40 million people a year, it's like, it's the same with like any neighborhood. It's like, do you want your neighborhood to, of course you want new people and new neighbors, but would you want 60, 70? And the point I'm trying to make is the same people that are left-wing are usually against gentrification of neighborhoods, but that's what they're against. They're against too many people coming to their neighborhood and changing the price value, changing the landscape, the culture of it. I get I'm just saying, in order to like really get to the bottom of it, there needs to be a debate, and they're not allowing Bernier to have a debate. I get that Scheer probably wants legal immigration, Justin Trudeau wants ISIS fighters, and Jagmeet Singh probably just close their eyes. They want everyone. So Scheer's a better bet to me than Singh. And if I had to rank who I like the most, I would say Bernier, Scheer, the Liberals. They just don't really matter to me. They're both pretty bad. But I might vote for Andrew Scheer just because I think he has a chance of winning. I don't think Maxime Bernier is going to win. Like I said, I think it's like it's Europe. They're not ready for him yet, maybe in a couple years. And I know his population's growing. Someone said Andrew is scared to talk about immigration as he thinks he will lose votes after he's elected. That will change. You might be right. That's why I'm saying I'm not vote for who you want to. I know a lot of my supporters are saying they really don't. They want to vote for Maxime Bernier. I might vote for Scheer just because I think the difference between him and Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, although they might be, a little bit sneaky together, I think any further left for Canada is going to be devastating. Bernier comes off, very authentic. Scheer is a little, I get it. He plays the game, but I know Scheer said he wants to get rid of the carbon tax as well, which and then a lot of the other people. It's really funny the debate they were having because you had anytime liberals talk about climate change, you have like three different types. You have the Trudeaus who wants to actually do a plan that is like feasible to do. So you have Trudeau talking about, we're going to do our climate change plan and we're going to get to net zero by 2050. So, Trudeau is not, he is kind of a moron, but he's like, I'm going to do a plan that we can actually do. And then you have the Green Party lady, I don't even know her name, and she's probably thinks like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the world's going to end in 10, 12 years, and Singh's like, Trudeau, why are you and Trudeau's like, I'm trying to do something we can do, and they want to do something because they think the world's ending in 12 years that goes faster and force it. It's a hilarious debate because regardless of who gets their way, whether it's Trudeau, Singh, or the Green Party lady, they're not going to change the climate. The climate change is really, honestly, the worst environmental discussion to have. It doesn't talk about pollution. There's real moves you can make to make the world greener, and what they're doing is trying to pretend like they're going to change the climate. Canada could stop using cars tomorrow completely. The climate would not change 1%. Canada doesn't have a big enough impact on the global world to do anything about it. So the fact that they're acting like they could change the climate from Canada is embarrassing to begin with. That's the pros and the cons, I think, too. That's what I was thinking is Scheer says he's going to get rid of the carbon tax. To me, that's just a tax on working people who buy gas and buy products. Maxime Bernier seemed to call him out and say, you're not really going to tax, you're going to tax in other ways. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to read some of your comments. To me, Bernier is the closest to a Trump. He doesn't have the same energy, but he seems pretty sincere and not afraid to not pander. But he probably won't win. I don't think Canada's ready for that. Although, if you want to vote for him, you can. Obviously, I don't care. Scheer seems to be playing the politician game a little bit more. He's attacking Trudeau a lot. Pretty funny. His little blackface thing at the beginning was very funny. He's definitely more conservative than Trudeau, but, he may or may not be kind of a little bit of a puppet, a little bit of like a sneaky right-winger. But I'm not even going to lie. If I was in Canada, I prefer that to these left people. These left people are going to just drive businesses out, raise taxes. It's terrible. So I may or may not, even though I like Bernier better, I may or may not vote for Andrew Scheer just because I think he's really going to win and has a chance of winning. And if too many people vote for Bernier, it may flip the scales. I don't know, though. I think Trudeau is going down. I think Jagmeet Singh, the NDP, is going up, but he's awful. You look into the dude's eyes, I don't trust a single thing he said. He's just like a Bernie. He's just like, guys, we're going to unite, and it's all for all the people. Anybody in Canada that's not talking about free speech now, and that's what Bernier said too. He's like, you're all for diversity, but what about diversity of ideas? And Singh said to him, I'm for diversity of ideas, just not your ideas. They're too harmful. It's like, bro, they want to censor speech so bad. I'm gonna read. Let's see. Someone said, thanks for doing some Canada politics. Yeah, you're welcome. Someone said, I'm Canadian and I agree with you. Yeah, no, you could pretty much figure it out just off the debate. Of course, I'd have to see more, but it's like Singh is a Bernie Sanders AOC style person, you know. The NDP is going to seem woker to people. It's the same, the NDP to the Liberal Party, although they're slightly different. It's the same as the Democratic Party to the Bernie Sanders uprising here. Everybody's so tired of the liberals, the Justin Trudeaus and the Hillary Clintons, that they're looking for something fresher. So some people go to the right wing and some people go to the NDP and think, oh my God, this guy's so real. He's going to tax the 1%. They say that, but they're going to raise taxes. They're going to carbon tax. The working people are not going to benefit under Bernie Sanders or Jagmeet Singh. They're the same kind. They sound great. They have their talking points down. They're good at calling out both sides and looking like they're in the middle, but they're really just not. Trudeau is a joke. He's not going to win. And the Scheer Bernier, that's a little bit of a trickier dynamic, because although I know a lot of people are liking Bernier, I just think that Scheer has a high chance of winning. And to me, I'm a strategic voter. You know, even when I voted for the presidential election in 2016, I knew that California didn't matter. Unfortunately, I knew that no matter which way I voted, that California was going to vote in Hillary Clinton. It was a lock. So I kind of thought if I would have been in like Wisconsin or Idaho or somewhere else that was a little bit more on edge, I may have voted for Trump in 2016, even though, like I was telling people now that I wasn't a big fan of him. I may have done it I don't know, because I wasn't there, but if I was in Pennsylvania, I would have thought about it way differently. I'm a strategic voter, because it's like, you know, my vote matters unless it doesn't matter. So that's my part. But I do know in Canada too, correct me if I'm wrong, the more power you have, you can make coalitions, I believe. And it's like, even if Bernier doesn't win or Singh doesn't win, it still matters how many votes they get, you know? So it's a whole different dynamic there. Someone said treacherous, treasonous, Trudeau's diabolical. No one likes Trudeau. The Liberals don't like Trudeau anymore. The Conservatives obviously don't like Trudeau. Someone said, I'm reading some of the comments. Chris Butler said, Jagmeet's Singh's NDP budget came out yesterday, $32 billion in debt in the first year. Guys, stay away from the socialists. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, they call themselves Democratic Socialists, New Democratic Party. Jagmeet Singh is the Bernie Sanders of Canada. He's just younger and a little bit smoother. It's all, we're going to tax the 1%, you know, we're going to help the working class. All they're going to do is raise taxes. Even if Jagmeet Singh did everything he said he was going to do for climate, it's not going to change the climate 1%. Canada doesn't have that much carbon emission on the planet. But carbon emission, that science is not even being told the truth of. I mean, trees suck in carbon. They told us that the science was settled on the ozone layer. They told us the science was settled on the moon. Guys, they don't even know whether the moon is within Earth's atmosphere or whether it's out of Earth's atmosphere. They've literally changed the story 3 times. This year, European scientists said, we think that the atmospheres of Earth extends further than the moon. Isn't that kind of a big shift between we went to the moon outside of the Earth's atmosphere and space to, oh, it might actually be within the Earth's atmosphere? They don't know what the F they're talking about. The Green Party lady's like psychotic. She's like, the science is, lady, relax. You're not changing the climate, trust me. If you want to change the climate, talk to like Bill Gates or those type of people. They have cloud seeding, hurricane manipulating technology that could probably shift the climate a little bit. But you're not going to change the climate by taxing the working people. Singh is trash. He's a nice guy, but not really. Someone said Jagmeet wouldn't answer rebel media questions after the debate. To me, that's the worst part about the Jagmeet Singhs and the Bernie Sanders type people. Not all of them. There are like your Kyle Kalinskis and stuff who can debate, or Glenn Greenwald. I respect those people for actually talking to other people. But a lot of them, they don't want to admit anything. They just want to censor. Like Jagmeet Singh in the debate stage, he basically said Maxime Bernier's immigration ideas are too dangerous. He doesn't want to give them a platform. What you're saying is you don't want to debate him because he's probably, even if you disagree with him, there's a debate on anything. Illegal immigration, legal immigration, you know, changing states. Like you're allowed to have a conversation about everything. So they want to censor you out. They want to lie about it. Last time I debated a progressive, I'm not even going to say his name. He creeps me out. But he starts screaming at me. Like the dude can't even have, I had to yell at him to shut up because he's screaming for 20 minutes. I'm like, God, Bernie Sanders is going to put an individual mandate. It's a fact. in Bernie Sanders' healthcare, you're not allowed to opt out. It's mandatory. It's a government mandated thing. It's like Obamacare, where if you don't pay, you pay a penalty because they need that to get the money to fund their. That's a fact. You could say it's better for working people. You could say it's better for people who are sick. But what I'm saying is a fact. They can't even accept reality. It's like, even if you're going to do this grandiose plan, they want to scream at you and censor you, so you never tell people what the plan really does. Like Elizabeth Warren screaming at Delaney, that's a right-wing talking point. He's like, I'm a left-wing liberal. It's not a right-wing talking point. It's in your bill. You could say it's better for people, but that's what you wrote. Not only did they never want to admit it, but a lot of them want to censor people, silence them, won't answer the question, call you names, deplatform you, because they don't want people to know what their own bills actually say. It's absolutely ridiculous. I want to see, someone said Canada needs a fighter like Trump. Yeah, Bernier's the closest to Trump in his policies, I think, but he doesn't have the same energy. Although I will say, he does go harder than, like Scheer is, Scheer's playing the game. He's like, he wants to win the election, but Bernier doesn't care. He was going pretty hard. Dude, watch, I wish I had do I have my laptop over here? Bernier came right out the bait and he said all the people on the stage are globalists. He's like, they're all working for the UN and, it's a failed European thing. It's pretty funny. It's pretty good. I was like, wow. And then Scheer just starts going at Trudeau. He was like, he doesn't even know what skin color he has. He's in blackface. He's white. I was like, dude, they were pretty good. Yeah, it was a good opening. Someone said, I wouldn't want Trump in Canada. Trump is garbage. You could feel that way. Someone said Bernier, I feel, is lazy. Listen, you can't. When I make comparisons, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. Bernie Sanders is not exactly like Singh. I'm just saying that's the closest comparison to U.S. politics. Trump is nothing like Bernier. They're very different. Even on immigration, they're different. I'm just saying that's the closest comparison. Everybody's looking for a Trump. They say Doug Ford's the Trump of Canada. They say, Marine Le Pen's the Trump of France. They say Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson's the Trump of, everybody's looking for their Trump. I mean, clearly Nikki in the chat's not looking for Trump, but you get what I'm saying. Conservatives around the world, they want somebody that's strong and fights for them. So I'm just saying he's the closest. He's the closest thing. When I say Justin Trudeau's barista in blackface, I don't really mean he literally serves up coffee, but he literally does wear blackface sometimes. You get it. Someone said, I'm going to read some of the comments. Someone said, Scheer has a team. The PPC is all nobodies. If he was good, one or more MPs would have followed. Like I said, I'm not making any statements because some people are like, anomaly, don't lead people this way. I'm just being honest. If I was in Canada, I would research more, but I think Andrew Scheer has a chance of winning. I think he's really going to win. So if too many people vote for Bernier, Trudeau or Singh could win the election. That's how I would have to really debate on it. But Scheer, I think Scheer's better than Trudeau. Scheer's better than Singh. They might be part of, they might have certain similarities, but in my opinion, anybody who says Trudeau and Scheer would do the exact same thing, I think that's disingenuous. I don't think it's true. They may do some of the same UN things, but man, if I was in Canada, I would need to go further right than that, just me personally. So I may vote for Scheer. I don't know, and it's not because I like him more than Bernier. I'm a strategic voter. I just think that it's like if in Sweden, for example, in Sweden they went further right a little bit, but the right wing dude was too much for everybody, so he didn't win. If there was a guy that was less right than him but still right wing that could actually win the election, I may vote for him. I don't know. That's just how I'm thinking. Someone said, doesn't matter. They're all globalists except PPC. I agree with you, but here's my thing. Even though they're all globalists, I absolutely think there's going to be there's going to be a difference between Scheer and Trudeau. Even though they're globalists, I guarantee your economy will be different, your taxes will be different, your immigration system will be different. I don't think Scheer is 100% exactly the same as Trudeau. They may both be globalist UN sellouts, but I guarantee under Scheer, your taxes will be better, your immigration system will be better, and the carbon tax will be gone. Let me see. Without voter IDs, we think treacherous Trudeau will cheat? Probably. Someone said, for not paying attention, your diagnosis of our candidates is spot on. But when I say I'm not paying attention, I always pay attention. It's pretty much my job. People are always looking, "Oh, do you have a job?" No, I'm crushing it on the internet. I don't need a real job. I put in my work here. No, but all jokes aside, I pay attention loosely, but I get it. I'm watching enough to really tell. Have you spoken at TPUSA conventions? No, they don't book me because I'd actually be awesome, so they don't want that for some reason. They can keep pretending like I'm not awesome, but I'm not trying to talk myself up. But they don't book me. They pretend like everyone doesn't want to see me there, and I wouldn't do a great job. So I just make videos in my apartment, get millions of views, get censored by Facebook, and get shown love by people who like me. It's okay. Shout out Betty from the Republican Hispanic National Convention. She got me to the White House. God bless Betty. She's a real one. Everyone else, I can't speak for them. I don't know why they don't want to deal with me. I'm too much. I'm too controversial. No one needs a globalist. Listen, I get what you're saying, but I'm just telling you how I feel. No one needs a globalist, absolutely. But if my election, if I thought that the two candidates who were going to win were Beto O'Rourke and someone else, Beto is sneaky snake. It's like if he's gonna take everybody's guns, I'm not saying he's gonna do that, but he said he wants to take all these, and then there's another candidate who's kind of fake that won't do all that and won't raise my taxes. It would be I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying I'm telling you who I would. I might go in on the day and be like, you know what, I like Bernier, I'm voting for him, I don't care, I'm going with my gut. But I might be strategic. I might be like, I don't know. Someone said, "You're making the best impact just being you." No, I'm good. I don't care. I don't need people to book me. It's fine. I booked myself. I did my own event. Someone said the carbon tax will be renamed under Scheer. That's what Bernier was saying, and that's a high possibility. He was saying that even though he's getting rid of the carbon tax, he's just going to put a different tax on. It's a possibility. I know, that's exactly what Maxime Bernier said when Scheer said that. So that may be the thing. Let me see. Val said, "We have a huge issue in Canada. Canada has 37 million people and 24 million live in Ontario and Quebec, so they will vote for who is our prime minister." Yeah, I guess you guys don't have like an electoral college type situation. It's tricky. It's a tricky thing in anywhere. Canada, especially in the United States, they're so big. What's the right move? The popular vote in Canada, where everybody, one vote equals one person, or, letting the bigger states and provinces decide. I'm reading some of your input as well. Since I kind of told you what I feel, I wanna interact on this one. So let me know, people from Canada. Let me know exactly what you think off of what I said. Some people are saying I'm spot on. Some people think not so much. I wanna go back and forth. Canada is an expensive place to live, more than twice as bad as California. I'm a truck driver. I travel through there a lot. Oh no, I know. Canada's been United States, even though we've had, you look at Barack Obama in the United States, as bad as people think he was, you could talk about what he did in Libya and Syria with Obamacare. He wasn't that far left besides all that, besides Obamacare. He didn't really rock the boat that much because he knew that it wasn't popular in America. Canada and Europe have been way further left for way longer. So you guys, I'm sure the taxes are higher, the gas taxes are higher. You have the healthcare system, which might be good if you need to get in for free real quick, but might be bad if you need a serious surgery and have to wait a year, then you have to go pay for it in America. I've heard lots of stories of both. I have no doubt in my mind that Canada is already way higher tax. That's why I'm saying I would rather, the difference between Singh and Scheer, you might say that it's exactly the same, but I guarantee you that Scheer is going to dial it back at least a little bit, and these other guys are going to fly off the radar. Even Trudeau from 8 years ago is different from Trudeau now. You look at Obama's Democratic Party, if Obama came in with the mentality that Barack Obama had in 2008, the Democratic Party of today would hate him. He would be like, "Hey, I'm going to enforce immigration. I'm not going to take your health care away." They would hate Obama. They would call Obama of 2008 a right winger. So Canada's way further left, but that's a real decision you guys got to make. It's like, how far do you want? What do you want to risk? Someone said Max is clearly the best, but won't pass this election for sure. I'm saying Max is he'll probably win in like 6 years or something, or 4 years. You know, I'm not saying not to vote for him. I'm just saying he's like the Swedish guy, or Maxine, or Marine Le Pen. It's almost like he's not. But here's the thing with Canada. You could say Scheer is terrible and just as bad, but I guarantee there's going to be a difference between Scheer and Singh. And, you know, in some of these other countries, they didn't even have another option. That's for you guys to decide. I'm not even a Canadian citizen. But that's your decision. But it's like, you know, in France, it was like Macron or Le Pen. In Canada, you guys actually have other options. Someone said every time you have something interesting to say, you get cut off. Yeah, it's insane, guys. I had literally 2,000 people in this live stream within 10 seconds, and then Facebook kicked out over half the people down to 800. It's crazy. How popular am I really? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just like, if I'm getting millions of views a week and they're kicking people out of my live streams, they're making it hard for people to share, they're not letting people comment, how popular would I be if they didn't just left me alone? I'd probably be getting 10 million views a week. It's ridiculous, but it's okay. Someone said JT is a cuck. You said it, not me. I would vote for Maxine in a nanosecond, but I don't want to throw my vote away. Mad Max says, I get it. Like I said, I'm in that same boat. A lot of, you know, you're feeling like me. Someone said Mad Max for the win, go big or go home. I feel what you're saying. I think Scheer's going to win regardless. I think Scheer's going to win. I think Trudeau is done unless he cheats. Singh is going to do well. I think Bernier is going to do better than people think, or however you say his name. I'm not French enough. I would rather see Scheer win than Trudeau. That's all I'm going to say. Someone says, is this election? You guys got some decisions to make. Scheer reminds me of someone who's like playing the game too. I think he's going to be better than Trudeau if he wins. He's probably going to be sell out a little bit, but if you think Scheer and Trump talking is going to be the same as Scheer and Trudeau, I don't think so. Is Canada socialist? I mean, in some ways, but I don't know. I don't know if they're completely all the way there, but Canada is definitely more far left than America. Tax-wise, they have the carbon tax. Someone said they're further left than California, probably. Someone said Trudeau has cheated the whole time, maybe. Let's see. Thank you, guys. Someone said Max has 3 tweets, libertarian and extreme. The extreme right seem to eat them up. Reality is Canadians are centrist for the most part. Scheer is the runner. You have it right. That's what I'm saying. He's probably going to win. And he probably, but to me it's like, when you say libertarians and extreme right, like, I don't know. I'm sure that's kind of where even I disagree with a lot of the mainstream conservatives in America, where they're so afraid of the extreme right and libertarians, or it's like literally all they, like, you go to the extreme far right that everybody hates, and you could disagree with a lot of their policies, but they want to bring the troops back home. And then you have these phony conservatives who are like, let's fight all, and they're like, look at the far right. I'm like, even the most disgusting far right-wing person in America, they all want to get out of the Middle East. It's like, so, it's like they agree with them. It's like, I don't make my decisions based off what the far right or the far left says or doesn't say. I make my decisions off of what's true and what's not true. So same with immigration in Canada. I don't live in Canada. It's not my business. I don't really care. But there's a discussion to be had about anything. And the fact that even moderate centrist conservatives don't want to have that discussion doesn't mean you're right. You might get more votes. You might be more popular. It might be safe for you to not get labeled by the media a certain way. But it kind of reminds me of the Oppression Olympics. If you guys watch, I got to go in a few minutes. My throat I can't talk all day. But if you watch the CNN town hall, don't. It's terrible. But there's a woman on stage. This is an example of what Scheer is going to have to deal with, or Trudeau, or Singh, or Bernie Sanders, or anybody. You had a woman with a trans kid. She transgendered her kid at the age of like 8 or 9. And then a black trans woman comes up and steals the mic from her and says, CNN hates black trans women. Don Lemon's like, no, we don't hate trans black women, blah, blah, blah. No, you do. You hate trans black women. You're not giving trans black women the mic. You're so The point I'm getting to is you can never be woke enough. You, as a conservative, you can't distance yourself from the right wing. You're going to be labeled that eventually. I'm not saying to be that, but be yourself. Don't be afraid to tell the truth, regardless of if you're left wing or right wing. If you're progressive, don't be afraid of the backlash from the far left or your friends. If it's true, it's true. You know Trump calling out the media is hilarious and true. You know Trump bringing troops home is probably a better idea than starting a war with Syria or Libya. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So it's like the conservatives are like, oh, we're not them. It's like, you're going to get called them anyway. Don Lemon, oh no, we're the best. We're the best. Oh, look at me. You're going to get called racist eventually, Don Lemon. You did last night. You're never going to be woke enough. There's going to be someone blacker out there, someone more transgender than you, someone gayer than you, someone, paraplegic, and they're going to look at you and say, you hate me. And then you're going to say, no, I've spent my whole life. Trudeau's like, no, I dressed up like you. I thought I was Aladdin. I rubbed the magic lamp. I did everything. It doesn't matter. Just tell the effing truth. Stop pandering. Stop lying. People think they're like, well, you get what I'm saying? It's like there's a debate to be had. Like they're like, I'm not Maxime Bernier. We're the moderate conservatives. To yourself, in 3 years, you're gonna get labeled that too. Someone says Scheer doesn't commit on hot topics. He fears he will lose votes. I mean, he's playing the game, but that's the thing. I get it. I absolutely get it. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out what you want to do, who you want to be. I like Scheer way more than Trudeau. I like Bernier a little bit more than Scheer. But to me, I don't. It's not like some people are like Bernier. Everyone else, they're all the same. I wouldn't say so. I would say even Trudeau, as terrible as he is, Trudeau is probably better than Singh. People don't want to say that because they hate Trudeau. I think he's a moron. I think he's embarrassing. I think he's sold out. But if you don't, it's like Barack Obama to Bernie Sanders, there's going to be a difference. Economically, there's going to be a difference tax-wise. You can act like it's all the same, but it's not. You could rate, this is terrible, this is really terrible, this is worse, they're all bad. But to me, the people that are like, it's like Bernier and everyone else is the same, that's not true. You could think they're sold out in different ways. But there's a difference of, are you paying 80% in tax, 70% in tax, 60% in tax? Are they shutting down the whole healthcare system? Are they, is it Obamacare where it's just a little implosion of your healthcare? Is it Elizabeth Warren who's going to completely take away your healthcare? It's the same with Canada. It's like, you might think they're bad or worse. You can vote for who you want, but I think it's disingenuous to say they're all totally the same. I guarantee you the economy is going to be better under Scheer than it will be under Trudeau. He may still sell out to the UN. I'm not saying to vote for him, but there's going to be differences. Let me see. Steve says, for the issues that matter, to me, Bernier is the only candidate that speaks about them. The rest literally refuse to answer questions. Yeah, totally. Bernier looks like he doesn't give a F. He's saying what he wants to say. The rest are politicians. When you listen to Scheer talk, it's all hand movements. It's all dodging. It's all, when you hear Trudeau talk, it's all blackface. All I hear is him dressed up as Aladdin, groping women. No, I'm just kidding. But when you hear Trudeau talk, when you hear Singh talk, it's the 1% and we're going to do it for all people. They're politicians. They're just, saying a bunch of nothing. For sure, Bernier is the only one on the stage that's like, I'm going to say what I actually think. When you look into Singh's eyes, when I look into his eyes, I see a person who, when the cameras are off, he's gonna talk a totally different way. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't talk like that with his friends. He's probably joking around and saying, which is fine. It's okay to be presentable. Same with me. I'm not saying everything I'm saying behind closed doors, but it's like you could tell the difference between someone who's being authentic and somebody who doesn't really even, they're like, I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna say something else later. All right, we'll read a few more comments, then I gotta go. I don't want to talk too much. Let's see. Any more Canadian input? Anomaly, what are your thoughts on Ben Bergwam? I'm not even sure who that is. I think it's a guy. I think I was at Trump Tower and he took a picture of me. I think that's who it is, but I have no idea. I I don't know. I haven't seen a single video or post he does. I don't really follow him, so I have no idea what his stances are on anything, to be 100% honest. Do you think Max has a chance? I don't personally, no. But I don't want to be that person, because, like, listen, I'm not a pollster. I'm not a, oh my God, Trump, Trump has no chance. Like, to me, I don't think Bernier has a chance, but I'm not 100% sure about that. It definitely seems like he's gaining a lot of support. He could pull off an upset. You got to go with your heart and your soul, but I think Scheer has a way better chance of winning, and I don't think this election, Bernier, my thoughts are he'll probably be good in 5 or 6 years, but I'm not the be-all, end-all. I haven't been following close enough. You never know. Polls don't matter. People's opinions don't matter. So go with how you feel, but I don't think he has a chance of winning. But let me see. Let's see. What do you think of Trump's rally last night? I didn't really follow it. I don't know. Someone said Ben is with America Voice News. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I'm pretty sure that he said hi to me when I was in. I've seen him at maybe Politicon. At Politicon, I think he said hi to me before, and I was at Trump Hotel, and I think that's who it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that he said, "What's up?" to me, and he's like, "Can I take a picture?" I said, "Of course." But I'm not just saying this to say it. I just don't know his news network, and I'm not quite sure what they do. That's just where I'm at. It's like Gavin McInnes. Like, I've talked about him because it was in the news, but I'm not even comparing them. I don't even think they're the same. But I'm just saying I've never seen his stuff. There's just certain people that I don't follow. So I'm not dodging. I just literally have no idea. Like, I've never seen a single video or post. Someone said, "I love to listen to Trump and you." Thank you. Someone said Scheer has flip-flopped according to polls. Bernier has been the only one with policies he has stood by. Like I said, I think he's more authentic. I just don't think he's gonna win. But like I said, someone said don't believe the polls. I'm not believing the polls. I'm just saying that's just how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bernier could win the whole election, and not come by a landslide. I just think that in this situation, it's interesting because in the polls, a lot of polls, I'll drop a gem real quick. A lot of polls are there to manipulate thought. But here's the difference between Canada and America. In America, you had Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump running at the end. So even if you did believe the polls, you're probably going to vote for Trump if you're conservative and feeling that. You're going to vote for Hillary if you're not. So even though the polls were lying, there weren't any other options that had even a single chance. But in Canada, it's different. So the polls could really throw this one off. That's why I'm saying don't listen to, I'm not trying to advise anyone to do anything. I'm just walking you through what I'm thinking. Say the polls are wrong. Say Bernier has a real chance of winning. But now in Canada, they're splitting the Conservatives into two, because there's people who like Scheer better, there's people who like Bernier better, and then there's the people like me who are trying to figure out which one really has a chance. So the polls are going to do a good job of screwing up the Conservatives in Canada. But also there's other Liberal candidates too. So Singh and Trudeau are going to split votes, and the Green Party are going to split votes, and then Scheer and Bernier are going to split votes. So luckily you guys have two. But the polls are going to do a better job in Canada of really screwing people up. Because if it was just Bernier versus Trudeau or Scheer versus Trudeau, the polls wouldn't split the votes. But because you guys have so many parties, it's gonna definitely get people to vote a different way. That's my thoughts on it. Someone said, "What is the core reason Canadians would actually vote for Trudeau again?" I don't think they are. I think the polls are lying about how popular Trudeau is. I actually think there's a chance that Trudeau could lose to Singh. I think he could get less votes than Singh. If you look at a lot of Canadian provinces, the NDP party has surpassed the Liberal Party, which is the more left-wing party. So there's a chance Trudeau gets knocked out by the socialist guy, and Scheer crushes them both. And Bernier, it could be like Scheer, Bernier, or Scheer, Singh, Bernier, Trudeau. I think there's a chance that Trudeau just gets absolutely obliterated and everybody votes either right, or the other left guy. Someone said, vote splitting was Max's plan the whole time to get Trudeau back in. It's a theory I've never heard, but maybe. Someone said Canadians are fed up with Trudeau. Yeah, I think there's a chance he gets absolutely no votes. I don't even think he's gonna finish top 3, possibly, or 2. Someone said Anomaly need a roommate. I'm moving to the States if JT or Singh get in. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna win. I think Trudeau's time's done. I don't think Singh's gonna get enough votes. It's hard to say. You guys have an interesting election. When you split votes 5 ways, it's kind of like the Democratic election here where you have 10 candidates. It's nearly impossible to predict because you don't know who's going to take away votes from who. It's really hard. How do you have time to worry about politics and live life itself? Well, I'll give you a hint. I don't worry about anything. So I don't fear or worry like at all. So the worrying part's not a bother because I don't worry about it. But how do I have time? Because it's my full-time job now. So when it wasn't my full-time job, I was extremely passionate about it, just like I was for music with 8 years. So I make time for what I want to make. Other people, when I'm on vacations a lot, I worked really hard for 10 years. So when I wasn't making money on it, I did it anyway. I put in 40 hours a week because I was passionate about it. Now it's easy because I don't have to go to an office for 9 hours, or I don't have to do something for 50 hours a week. So it's way easier than you think. I'm making a living off of making videos. It's amazing. Someone said Trudeau put up $600 million. Trudeau put up $600 million of taxpayer dollars to help prop up the fake news in Canada, says Rick. How is that for a propaganda move? Our liberals are cut from the same class as the Democrats in the U.S. Oh yeah, I've heard Canadian news is terrible. CBC is hilarious. I think Trudeau's done though. Here's my prediction. I'm not don't quote me on it, don't vote based on it, but I think it's gonna be Scheer. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. It could go anyway. But my thoughts, if I could guess, I'm gonna say Scheer. Then I think Trudeau or Singh, and then Bernier. I don't know who's going to go where, but I think Scheer's going to win. That's just what my gut tells me. I don't think I think Trudeau's being propped up by the media. I don't think the left wing likes him anymore, but it's debatable of how popular Scheer is compared to Bernier. I have no idea. What do I think about what Tulsi said about the debates? Is that what you're asking? She says she's going to boycott the debate. I think she shouldn't boycott the debate. She should go in the debate and tell the truth. But I get what she's saying. But here's the thing with Tulsi. Tulsi, does she really not know why the Democratic Party right now is that corrupt? Why do they have superdelegates? Why are they rigging the debates? Why are they working hand in hand with the media? Why are they lying about the polls? The reason it's happening is because the Democratic Party is a big government party. When your ideology is big government, high taxes, anti-corporation, constantly demonizing anybody who believes in the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Constitution, preserving some freedom for the citizen. That's what you get the Democratic Party. So it's like Tulsi Gabbard's like, why are we so corrupt? It's like, because that's you. Like, what do you mean? What else is going to happen when all of your ideals, your domestic ideals of this, grandiose, we're going to give everyone everything by giving the government more power and taxing people more, you're going to get the Democratic Party. So it's like, what does she expect? She was the vice chair of the DNC. She knows this. So I used to like Tulsi more. She's a little, I still like her better than everyone else on that side, but the Democratic Party, it's like you can't give government that much power. Sorry, folks. I know it's going to hurt some people's feeling, but we need to go further right wing. The government needs less power. Taxes need to be lower. I don't believe anything that the left says anymore. Even who's going to pave the roads and pave the schools? Your idea of a good school is eliminating private school and making the government control the whole school system. I'd rather every single person homeschool their kids than to send them to government indoctrination camp for 15 years so everybody's walking morons when they're 18 years old. I don't even think, who's going to pave the roads? I don't know. California has the 4th biggest economy in the world or something. We have the highest taxes. No one's paving the roads. So who paves? When they take $1 trillion, who's paving the roads? I guarantee you the roads would get paved if you took none of our taxes and then I made a GoFundMe and I said, I'm going to pave the roads. I guarantee you I could raise $10 million and pave the roads faster than the government could. So I'm not buying any of the crap. Who's going to pay the teachers? I don't know. Who pays the teachers in California? They're on strike. How come we have the highest taxes? We're going to pay the teachers to pave the roads. No one's doing that crap. I'm over government completely. So nothing about the left appeals to me. Nothing they say actually resonates with me at all because it's all, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I'm not xenophobic, I love everybody. Your ideas hurt my feelings and we're going to give the government more power. It's all terrible. Why is there homelessness? Why is there trash everywhere? Why are we leading the nation in poverty? It's because of your ideas. Why wouldn't you? Your ideas like favor people that don't have work ethic or do crack on the streets and demonize people who make something for themselves from nothing and act like you're fighting the 1% without understanding how the world really works. Like when I was 18, I was like, yeah, screw the corporations and the government. I still kind of feel the same way. I think corporations are corrupt and the government's corrupt. But just because I think corporations are corrupt doesn't mean I don't understand how the world works. If you raise the taxes on corporations, you can't make them stay. They can move to China like Nike. They can move to Mexico like, some automotive companies. They can move to, Atlanta or Georgia like a lot of the film industry. They can move it. They don't have to stay. So we're gonna raise it on no, you're gonna raise it on the working class, you're gonna raise it on the very wealthy, they're gonna leave or they're gonna pay a certain percent and the rest is gonna fall on the working person. You're gonna add a carbon tax, which is just a tax on working people who drive cars. Nothing they say makes sense. Literally almost nothing. There's almost nothing they can do for me. And it's not because I'm biased or partisan, it's because I see through the lies of the Republican Party, I see through the lies of the Democrat, I see through Scheer's lies. I see through Singh's lies. I see through Bernie Sanders' lies. I see through Trump's lies when he's lying. And there's nothing liberals can do for me anymore. They make, they're nice people. They mean well sometimes. But besides that, it's like their policies and ideas don't work at all. There's a way to be nice and kind and compassionate and not an idiot and make government so big that people have no power. It's very simple. Someone said you could raise the taxes on corporations, they'll pass it on to the consumer. You could raise minimum wage and Nike could pay for it, Target could pay for it, Walmart could pay for it because they're billion-dollar companies. They can either raise the prices of their products or they could not, just like in California. Why is it $15 for a sandwich, but you go to any other state and you could buy a whole cheesesteak for $7 or $8? It's because when you raise business taxes, the business just raises the price of what they sell. So now you can't find a sandwich for $8 in California because they raise the taxes on the business owners and charge them $800 a month or a year instead of $300 or $200 or nothing. So you could raise $15 an hour minimum wages, but if you're a small business and you only employ 1 or 2 or 3 people for $10 an hour, now you can't do that anymore. So you fire somebody or you pay them less or you charge more or you leave the state. That's literally what's happening in California. Read how many businesses are leaving. Read how many wealthy people will leave. Oh my God, we're going to tax them 80%. If I have $1 billion or $10 million and you say you're going to tax 80%, guess what I'm going to do? Either I'm going to do what I'm not going to do this, but what they do, read the Panama Papers. They go to other countries and store their money in offshore safes and don't pay any taxes. Or they could leave the state. Or they could leave the country. They could buy an island. They don't have to stay and pay your 80% taxes. Who wants to give that money to the government? Is the government going to do a great job with the taxes they No. California could take 100% of the rich people's taxes and waste it in 2 days because that's what government does. They waste everything they do. They spend $2 billion on a website that costs $10 million. They spend $1 trillion doing nothing. They lose money. Look at Rand Paul. He does breakdowns of how much money they've lost or they've gone accounted. They'll send $50 billion to other countries and then, invade the same country 10 years later and fund rebels who end up being terrorists. It's like, ooh, why is there a refugee crisis? Well, Ben, Becky, you gave money to rebels trying to kill the leader of Syria, and then ISIS came. If you listen to Trump, a lot of people came from Europe, not even the Middle East. And then all of a sudden, if you attack the people who are trying to attack ISIS, yeah, of course they're going to gain strongholds, and you give them weapons. Oh, why did that happen? People are so annoying. All right, our gas here is $2.15 per gallon. Where do you live? Not California. It's like $3-4, I think. They just tax gas. Oh, we're going to tax gas and we're going to make it hard. But what about those who pay no taxes and still raise their prices? Make a new business that doesn't charge so much and people will go to you. Like In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A. It's like In-N-Out. I'm not saying it's the best food in the world, but how come they haven't raised their prices? Even though they're in California, $8, you could get a whole meal for $8 and they're crushing it. So that's that's the beauty of the world. If everybody's charging $15 for a sandwich and you're the only fast food company in the state that's still charging $9 and you're paying your workers $15 minimum wage because you had a good business plan, that's innovation. So it's like some people can get away with it because they work hard, but it's like, are you going to keep stealing money from In-N-Out because they figured out a way to keep the prices low until they have to raise the prices? It's like, no. Just, that's why they're like, oh my God, In-N-Out donates to conservatives. Of course, because they don't want to charge $15 for a hamburger. They want to, maintain some sort of leverage over the market. Someone said, we're in Ohio. I can get a 2-foot-long Philly cheesesteak and a few pounds of fries and pistachios for $15. Yeah, I was just on the East Coast. You can get a sandwich in most places for $8. Here, you can't even, you pay $15 at Jersey Mike's for a sub, and then you get chips and a drink. It's like $20 to get a sub that's not even as good as the subs in New Jersey and New York. Annoying. Someone said $5 for In-N-Out in Tennessee. What do you think about what Robert O said? I don't listen to him anymore. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I don't want to make this video too long. Those are my thoughts on the Canadian election and other things. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That's my thought about the Canadian election. Good luck. I hope it works out for you guys. And I mean that. That's not sarcasm. I just sounded like it because I'm tired. All right. Have a good week. I'll be back. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Someone said, why do I remain here? What do you mean? Why do I remain where? In California? I guess I could answer that before I leave since I read it. I don't know. It's like I've been here for 7 years. I have all my stuff here. Be a major hassle to move. And I could at any time, and I'm debating it, especially with all the stuff that's coming in. But, I'm a positive person. So there's pros and cons to everywhere. I could sit here and say California's awful. It's the worst place in the world. It's not true. Where I'm from, everybody works 9 to 5s and there's nothing to do. Los Angeles is pretty fun, despite all the terrible stuff going on. It's a fun place. There's definitely good aspects of it. Everywhere's got its pros and cons. You can't have it all. And, I'm one of the lucky ones that I actually could move if I wanted to. It's not super hard, but it is kind of hard. There's millions of families here. So that's the thing I'm also thinking is like, you can't run away from everything. Like, I'm from New Jersey, and, the liberals are doing that there. They're doing it everywhere in New Jersey as well. So it's like, you can't run away forever. You can run to Texas. They'll take over Austin. So it's like, I could run to another state, but, then it's just a different fight. So I enjoy my life where I'm at, but I got, my eyes peeled as far as where I want to be. But I also do appreciate a lot of things about here. And when I say this stuff, I'm not hating on all the great things of California. There's a lot of amazing stuff about Southern and Northern California. It's just that the people deserve more. The taxpayers deserve more. The families who live here deserve more. So, why not try to fight the great fight for them as well? It's like I could just run away, and I might, but while I'm here, I'm going to say how I feel, and hopefully, one day things can be even better. That's my thought. Thank you guys. Have a good one, and I'll be back.